tubeless ready and doesn't have rim tape. We gotta put rim tape in there, or else when we put in the inner tube, it's gonna push against the sharp edges of these holes for the spokes. It's gonna blow the inner tube, so we gotta tape this off. This is tubeless rim tape. You can use it for tube or tubeless tires. We just gotta hope we have enough of it left in this roll to cover this rim. We are out of rim tape, guys. Whatever will we do? Oh, I know. You can use any tape, that's what. Bottom line is, if you're not like a super racer, everything, you're not counting grams, you can use Gorilla Tape and it's fine. If it was the apocalypse and some rogue bike mechanics had to get some bikes running, yeah, they'd be using all sorts of stuff to tape rims. Scotch tape, gauze, flesh. So yeah, this is a special reaming tool for poking a hole in the tape. Perfect. So now we're gonna install our derailleur, we're gonna install our shifter, put some new housing in there, get it all set up. This bike does not have internal cable routing for a dropper post. So the type of dropper post I have on my bikes, where the cable goes inside of the frame and attaches at the bottom, can't use that. So P&W sent us a dropper post where it goes inside the frame, this hangs out at the side, and we are able to install a dropper cable outside the frame, which is what we're about to do. Lever's really nice, very cool. Take out the original seat post, a little grease in here, and we will install our dropper post. The way this dropper installs is the correct way, which is to say that we put the cable in from the dropper side and adjust it up with the lever. Way easier. Too many companies do it the opposite way around. You're inside the seat post and up here. Oh yeah, that feels good. All right, so I'm gonna route this on the fork and install the wheels. Okay, so one of the things that we're gonna do with the wheels, just to make the bike a little cleaner and more serious, these are quick release wheels, which means they actually have these quick release skewers that go through them. They don't look that good, they get caught on things, and assuming this bike isn't gonna be taken apart every day, we can just put bolt-on skewers and make everything a whole lot cleaner, so we're gonna do that. So again, mostly cosmetic, but one could argue that it is more secure and there's less of a chance of it getting caught on something. So we got those bolt-on skewers, and you gotta admit, they're way clean. This is starting to look sick. Oh man, I don't know why it is that I get more excited about cheap bikes that we fix up than setting up new bikes. I think it's that we made it this way. It wasn't cool. We get to see the end result. So we're gonna give them really good, super cool grips. These ergon grips with oil slick clamps. I cannot wait for the day where somebody gets this bike, where it finds its forever home and somebody gets to ride it into the sunset. Let's throw a chain on this thing. Whoa, that's super long. Hey, you know what? Not bad. Barely any adjustment needed. So because I'm running one race face pedal and one Fuker pedal on my hardtail, I have my old blue pedals, which will actually go really nicely with this bike, so that's what we're gonna use. All right, so at this point, we have about 35 different shades of blue on this bike, but I would say in terms of color matching, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is green. You know what it reminds me of is my Trek 4900. It was like kind of this level bike, you know, but I had very slowly upgraded all the parts on it and turned it into a way more capable mountain bike. I guess we have to dial in the suspension a little bit, and I almost forgot, valve caps. Blue. I'm gonna install a Fidlock water bottle cage. The smaller the bike frame, the more difficult it is to get a water bottle cage on. This is one of the few scenarios where a multi-tool is actually one of the quickest things you can use, because it actually can make it around a full circle in this little tiny triangle. And then the water bottle fits on just like that. Pretty cool. Oh, almost forgot. I've got sticky fingers. These are like grips for your brake levers. It sounds really stupid, but don't knock it till you try it. They slide over the levers, and it just makes the brakes feel so good. Man, they ain't easy to get on. Maybe we'll see if we can use the air compressor to make it a little easier. Can damn near rip your lever off trying to get these on. I guess I did need some exercise today. I'm not trying to be dramatic. This is just difficult. Just a little more.
No!
Okay, we got the sticky fingers on. All right, so I'm just gonna make a couple of adjustments. Let's check out this suspension. Okay, it's like a pogo stick. We just close up the damper. Okay, that's pretty cool for 99 bucks. I can't tell you whether it's worth buying or not because we haven't tested it. Luckily, I will be able to test it before this bike finds its forever home because we don't exactly have a home for it yet. Man, when we first got this bike, I mean, it was an entry-level bike in the first place, but when we got it, there was not a single part on it that hadn't been ridden into the ground. It was evident when you looked at this bike that it had been crashed on, it had been learned on, it had been loved. It lived a very fulfilling life that any entry-level hardtail should hope to live. And today, we just gave it a whole new beginning. Let's give this new bike a good long stare. Now usually we don't get to test these bikes too much because they're too big for me, but this is actually an extra small, so we should be able to do some shredding. So just pedaling this bike up the road, it feels fairly confident and it kind of fits me. So every bike is gonna have a different geometry. If you've ever gotten into somebody else's car and driven it, you know, it feels completely different, not as confident. So I'm gonna start by taking this down Woodpecker, try it out on some single track, the mainframe, snake pit jump. For Berm Peak, that stuff is pretty tame. I can get a feel for this bike and see if we want to take it further. So oddly enough, I feel really good and confident on this bike. Confident enough to do the drama drop? I don't know. I'm a little worried about the fork. See if there's any warnings or anything on it. Probably a good idea not to hit the drama drop. The warning sticker does not say anything about the slopestyle course, so let's head up there and see how much of it I can get through. So as I said, you have to get used to a bike you've never ridden before. I spent about 45 seconds on this, and I think ready to try to hit the slopestyle course. Okay, so here's what happened. I went to take a crank and drivetrain skipped, and then I didn't have enough speed, and then the brakes on this do not stop like my bike. That's just the reality of it. They're 160mm rotors, so almost died. So it was just skipping. Everything looks okay. I think it's just this doesn't have a clutch like a higher end drivetrain. We're only gonna be able to expect so much from it. So I'm gonna try and pump as hard as I can and try and make this gap. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Well, I made it. I'm actually sending everything pretty deep with like no speed because tires are pumped up super firm, suspension super firm. I don't feel like I have everything under control, but the bike, yeah, she flies. I'm not sure the line I took into the rock garden could have been any worse. The fork, it doesn't feel good. It's a $99 fork, but it does feel a lot better than the one that was on it. I think the biggest thing that's holding me back are the high pressure tires and the fact that I'm not used to this bike, because honestly, there's really nothing sketchy about this bike. It's in perfect working order. All the parts are decent. This is gonna make a great bike for somebody. I don't know, I don't see anything wrong with this bike. I think we can send the drama drop. I know there's